Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a monthly highlights video for you today. This is my May monthly highlights with Hello Petite paper. The two pens I'm using this month are my usual Taiwanese permanent marker and the Wonton in a Million Steamy pen, which came in the Besties box. It's a fine tipped gel pen, which is exactly the kind of pen that I like. Alright, starting off with the top bars, I'm putting them down. I think I kind of misaligned them a little bit. Hopefully you guys can't notice that much in the video, but yeah, there's a little bit of orange peeking out on the left there. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and for my monthly highlights in my Erin Condren, or monthly spread rather, I like to jot down a highlight for each day, and it could be something as small as the first of the month this month, which was that I got boba guys, or it could be something huge like my sister graduated from nursing school this month. So anyway, I'm really excited to share this month with you. I think it has been my most profound month thus far in 2019. So like I said, on the first I got boba guys, and I have been loving their strawberry matcha latte. It's iced with oat milk and boba. It is delicious. It's the only boba I've been wanting lately, and normally I go for teas, like milk teas, rather than matcha or anything fruity. But that one I got for free one day. They made an extra and was like, hey, do you want one? Or does anybody want one? And like my hand just went up, and it was delicious, and that's the only thing I've gotten since. On the second, I got in a Sephora haul. I think they had a sale around this time of year, and it's always fun to splurge at Sephora a few times a year and get a bunch of new makeup or skincare products, which I always share in my Instagram stories, by the way. Then from the 3rd through the 6th, I was actually in Las Vegas for Marg from Once More with Love's bachelorette party, as well as Jessica from J. Crew Plan's birthday party, which was really exciting. So I used the strip that came with the kit to mark the days that I was out of town, as well as a plane, and then this Better Together sticker I thought was perfect because I went with a bunch of planner friends and we all met up there and had such a wonderful time celebrating. So on the 4th is when we really celebrated them, and we actually went out to Magic Mike, and I used the stripper munchkin to mark that, which I think is hilarious. It was my first time going to a Magic Mike show, and it was actually really entertaining. I was a little bit scared that it would be too raunchy for me, but I really enjoyed it, so that was a bunch of fun. And then on the 5th, I went to a Penn and Teller Magic show with Andrea from Scribble Prints Co, Marg, and I think Cynthia was there and a couple of other people, and I loved it. It was my first time also at a Penn and Teller Magic show, and their magic is just so good. So I used a unicorn from Wonton in a Million to mark that. And then on the 6th, it was just a chill day. Carolyn and I from Carolyn Plans flew out at night, so we decided to do a spa day at the Aria, a little treat yourself moment. And sorry, that was my phone. And it was just so enjoyable. I loved it. They had this like warm, like dry sauna there, which I loved. And obviously I love getting into the hot tub and everything. So I used a face mask girl from Happy Diet to mark that, as well as a heart from Clever Gal Crafts. I didn't have a highlight down for the 7th, so I put down some washi to decorate it. And then on the 8th, I caught up on The Voice, which I love, especially since John Legend's been a coach. And this Fox and Cactus Girl, I actually meant to use on the 10th. So I'm moving that over. I actually pull all of the icons I want to use for my monthly in advance and stick them all on a sticker sheet. So I put that back to the 10th, which is when I found Oatly at Target, which was really exciting because they were always sold out at my Whole Foods, but I think their new factory in the States has been open now for some time, so thankfully it's more regularly in stock, but it's really exciting to find it when it's always out of stock. So for the 8th, I didn't really have any music related stickers to put down, so I decided to do a bunch of little doodles, old school style. I think I doodled like this back in middle school or high school when I was bored and looking for things to decorate my binders and such, and I actually loved that. I end up pulling it throughout this spread more times, as you'll see. Oh, the pink foiled pen or metallic pen is also, well, it's not also, it's a Pilot Juice up pen, and I got it on Jet Pens. I think you can also get it on Amazon. I do end up pulling pink and rose gold foil into this spread, so I thought it would be fun to use some pink ink. So on the 11th, we had a wonderful Mother's Day family dinner. My brother came back for the weekend, and I used some pandas, some family time pandas from Happy Diet to mark that. And Sunday was actually Mother's Day, so we had a wonderful steak dinner at home, and I tried lettering here, but it was an epic fail. So later you'll see that I white that out. This heart arrow is actually red foil. I know my mom likes the color red because she's Chinese, and we are Chinese, and in China or in Chinese culture, red is the lucky color. So I thought that she would appreciate that for Mother's Day, but I end up actually pulling up the red foil later because it was jarring against all of these other colors. But anyway, it's there for a little while, as well as the mom, which I will white out later. On the 13th, I went shopping in Walnut Creek, which is my favorite mall to shop in here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I used a shopping sticker from Hello Petite Paper to mark that. I did get some new pieces because it was just like a little treat yourself moment, and I was going to travel later in the month, as you'll see, and I wanted a couple new things to wear then. So on the 14th, it was a really special day. My sister graduated from nursing school, and she graduated summa cum laude, which is incredible. She did like a 1-year accelerated program to get her BSN, and I am so proud of her. So yeah, just a little bragging, sorry. But that was obviously a really huge moment in our family, and we all went to celebrate and attend her ceremony, as well as have a family dinner afterwards. And of course I had to use a nursing munchkin to mark that. So this month I actually discovered a new YouTube channel, and they are called Canto Mando. They are these 3 Chinese Canadian boys, and I say boys because I think they're a few years younger than me, but I discovered one of their videos. They actually quit their jobs to become YouTubers full time, and they did a video where they shared their parents' reaction to it, and for the first time I felt so seen, because it's a really interesting experience trying to pursue a creative field in an Asian American immigrant family. And I know if you're in an Asian American, I think it's beyond Asian American, I think for many immigrant families this is the case, because I know, at least in my experience, and I know some of Canto Mando's experiences too, our parents came and, they had nothing when they came to the States, or to Canada in their case, and they value stability, so especially professions with stability. So that's a huge thing, financial stability, that defines really the American dream for us. So it's a really interesting experience pursuing a creative field as a first generation immigrant. But anyway, if you're interested, I'll have their channel linked down below. They are hilarious. That's like their one serious video. Most of their videos are really like funny videos, and I seriously cried laughing so many times while watching their videos. They're hilarious. Also, I love Edward. I just had to put that out there. So I spoke too much about Canto Mando, and I kind of missed the few days that followed, so I'll go back when I flip the planner back over. But right now, I didn't have a highlight down for 19 and 20, so I decorated with some boxes that came with kit, as well as some Simply Gilded washi. And on the 21st, which is the day before I left for Sweden for vacation, I tried out a new nail salon. If you've been following me for a while, you know I've had some trouble finding a nail salon after coming back up to the Bay Area after college, and I finally found one that I really love. So I'm really excited about that, and I used a Girl from Van Sticky to mark that. So now I'm using some Simply Gilded washi to mark out the time that I was in Sweden and Denmark. I visited Stockholm and Copenhagen for the first time. It was really exciting. But before I move on to that, let me talk about the highlights that I missed earlier. So on the 16th, I got some new rings from one of my favorite jewelry shops called Hannah Naomi. And all of my rose gold stacking rings that you see on my fingers, they're all from Hannah Naomi, and I love them so much. And then on the 18th, I actually went to buy a gift for my friend that I was visiting in Sweden, and he really likes Patagonia. So I went to buy something from Patagonia for him, and of course, I ended up buying a bunch of things for myself as well. So I used a Van Sticky shopping spree girl to mark that. So on the 22nd, I left for Stockholm, and I actually traveled solo for the first time internationally, which was really exciting, but also a bit nerve-wracking. I guess it was half solo though, because my friend lives in Sweden now, so I actually met him there and I stayed with him, so it was like a half solo trip, so that made it much easier or less nerve-wracking for me. So I arrived on the 23rd, and there's this Swedish word which I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, so I apologize if you're Swedish, but it's lagom. It means like just right, and I distinctly remember settling into Kyle's apartment, like, unpacking, having a shower, and just like lying on the couch with my legs up the wall, which is my favorite thing to do after a long flight because my body gets so swollen. And I remember just looking into his living room, which is furnished very Scandinavian because obviously he's in Sweden, and there were, the sunlight was pouring in, and it just felt like lagom. That's exactly the word to describe it. So that was my highlight. On the 24th, we went out to dinner in Kamlistan, which is the old town, and we ate at this lovely restaurant. We sat outside. There was a gorgeous view of the fountain, and I had these delectable Swedish meatballs, which I think about more often than I'd like to admit. My highlight on the 25th was the entire day. I spent the day exploring Stockholm with Kyle. We went to all these places that I had on my list: Vasa Museum, Stockholm Central Library. We then went out to a bar in Galveston called Farmarium, which was really cozy, made super yummy drinks, and just chatting with friends. I call them friends because, they're Kyle's friends and colleagues, but it was just like really intimate, and I got to know more about like Swedish culture and growing up in Sweden and all that. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. On the 26th, this is going by so fast, or maybe I just have so much to say because I absolutely loved this trip. And I have vlogs and Instagram posts, and Plan With Me's up. So you're probably sick of me talking about it, but I just really enjoyed my time there. So on the 26th, I explored Södermalm, which is where a lot of the events in the Millennium series took place. That's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that series, if you're familiar. And I used this coffee girl from Toffee Bananas to mark that because I had a bunch of coffee that day. I had fika for the first time, which is like a coffee break, coffee and pastries in Swedish culture. And on the 27th, I actually took a train over to Copenhagen, which is about 5 hours by train. And I visited Tivoli, which is an amusement park and a garden hybrid. It was beautiful. It was so lovely. The garden was so beautiful and serene. The amusement park was so lively and fun, and I just really loved that synergy, if you will. I only had about 36 hours in Copenhagen. On the 28th, I spent the day walking around and exploring different landmarks in Copenhagen. So the castles were definitely my favorite, hence the castle sticker from Paper and Milk. I also visited Nyhaven Canal, and at the end of the day, I had a beer and people watched, and there was a busker that sang "What a Wonderful World," and I just felt so free and unencumbered and happy at that moment. So this full box, Hobonichi full box from Once More with Love, is perfect to mark that, and no writing of my own necessary for that day. On the 29th, I actually was back in Stockholm to fly out to go home, and I can't explain the feeling of just getting back to the apartment, taking a shower, and just snuggling up under the covers for a little bit and getting rest in a familiar place. It's the best feeling. It felt like, oh, I'm home, even though obviously it's not my home, but You know what I mean? So this Paper and Milk Snuggled Up Maru was also just perfect to mark that. I love the stickers that I use to mark everything. So on the 29th, like I said, I flew back home, and when I got home, it was because of the time difference actually still the 29th. On the 30th, I opened up a bunch of Happy Mail that arrived while I was out of town. Not a bunch, actually just one order. I purchased some merch from Canto Mando, and you remember how I said I loved Edward? Edward actually wrote like a handwritten note that said like Mandy, blah, 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 Edward, and I still have that in my planner right now. It's in this planner that you're viewing right now. I mean, I loved that. It was handwritten. It was really sweet, even though he writes it to everybody, but I just loved it because I love Edward. So that was definitely my highlight. And on the 31st, excuse me, I didn't have anything down, so I just put down more of those doodles and a Mischief Managed sticker from J. Crew Plans. By the way, I know I missed mentioning where a lot of stickers are from, so please ask down below if you have any questions. And lastly, the washi banners and the intention that carried me throughout the month. For May, there is no better line than this one for my favorite song by Shawn Mendes. Can't say song and Shawn in the same line. This is from Fallen All in You. If I'm dreaming, baby, please don't wake me up. And May was just such a dream. I mean, I know I talked about all the joy in this monthly highlights video, but I didn't talk about all the heartbreak. And as much joy as there was also as much heartbreak, which I won't get into, but that duality was what made this month so profound for me. So I'm just ending this intention here on the right with those music heart XO doodles. I think I'm gonna try to make it into some foiled overlays. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this May monthly highlights. I hope I wasn't too talkative. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.